Hey guys, it looks like spring has finally sprung. Backpackers, hikers, and campers are finally coming out of their cocoons to enjoy the warm weather and get out there to hit the trail. So we already talked a little bit about some other gear throughout the winter season, but one of the most important things that we have to talk about is, of course, where you're going to sleep at night. So unless you're planning on doing some cowboy camping where you're just pretty much laying out under a blanket or a sleeping bag, you're going to want to have a tent. So I'm going to show you one of my go-tos that I like taking out with me on the trail. And this particular one is, it kind of got a little bit of a funny backstory to it, but it's a teepee. So check this out. It's going to be the Intense Wilderness Survival Gear 4-person teepee tent. This thing's actually pretty cool. So this particular teepee is, as you can see, it's fairly compact, but it's not as small as some people might like, but it's small enough. It'll fit on the back or in a backpack just fine. It's very lightweight, like super lightweight. And the heaviest part of it is the central stake of it, and I'll show you how to set that up in a sec. It's actually really cool piece. It's very comfortable to sleep in, and it's super easy to set up. It's waterproof, it's easy to transport, easy to set up. It's a little bit tall, so the wind will kind of blow it a little bit, but not terrible. It actually works out really well. I have another one that's a single person backpacker tent, and it's much smaller, much lighter, but it doesn't hold up nearly as well as the teepee here. So let's dig into this thing. Let me show you what's in it. So naturally you're going to have the carrying bag right here. Unzip it, and then obviously you're going to have the teepee itself. Okay, and it's pretty straightforward. You just unroll it and then set it up. Now, in with the teepee itself is going to be your central stake. We'll open that up. And then your grounding stakes. So obviously we all know what grounding stakes are, but for those of you who may be new, a grounding stake is basically, it's just a stake that holds down your tent so it doesn't blow away. It's just like an L rod is all it is, real simple. And you keep it in this little case, just keep everything together, and this is what they look like if you're not familiar. Very simple. And you just pound it on the ground, and then you take your guide ropes that you're going to see on the tent and you tie it to it. Pound it down all the way, done deal. So what makes the teepee actually stand up is going to be the center stake. So take that out of the bag. And the center stake is going to be a 4-rod set that's going to be tethered together so you can't lose a piece, right? Unless you break that rope. Not a big deal though. You don't actually need the rope. You can break the rope and still use the stakes. But it just unfolds, fastens together, unfolds, fastens together, unfolds, fastens together, and then you have the center stake. So I'm going to fold it up just so you guys can look at it a little bit more. The two ends have these rubber heads on there, and you can kind of see that, I think. And that's just so you don't mess your tent up. So the tent's going to be like this plastic-ish fabric, so it can potentially tear very easily. So you don't want to have any kind of sharp metal like sanding against it. So those rubber feet on the end that go up against the bottom and on the top of it prevent any kind of tearing or wear or anything like it. It works out really well. So what you do is you take, after you put this all together, you're going to spread out your teepee itself, and the video that's going to be showing is going to show how you spread the teepee out into its width. And then after you get the central stake put together and you have everything spread out, you're going to take that center stake and you're going to push it up through the middle part, and it's pretty much just going to have like a friction hold. Everything's going to be super tight when you put it together, and it's going to hold the top to the bottom just based on the tightness of the teepee. So everything's going to be super tight coming down because you shoved that up in there. and it's going to hold everything in a nice triangle shape, a nice teepee shape, and everything's going to be very strong with that central stake in there. And then after you get that all set up, the teepee's actually erected, you're going to take your grounding stakes, put them down on the ground, and then you're going to ground your teepee, and that's about it. It takes about maybe 5-10 minutes to set this thing up. It's very water resistant, as I've experienced in the past. I've been caught in torrential downpours with this thing, and I stayed dry for the most part.
So we got caught in the storm.
But it actually holds up really good. The fabric is actually, it's a lighter fabric. I wouldn't call it heavy duty. It's not like a canvas or anything like that, but it's durable enough. It'll last pretty darn well. Now, it's not going to really hold any kind of heat, so I would not recommend this during the wintertime unless you have some other setup, like if you have heavy sleeping bags in there, maybe, you just want to keep the snow from coming down on you, that's fine. Or if you were to, for some reason, bring like a tarp to wrap around it, I guess. But in and of itself, it's not going to hold heat very well in the wintertime. It'd be all right for spring, maybe early fall, definitely during the summertime. Deep winter, not so much unless you worked out some other method of keeping the warmth inside your tent. Interesting story behind this one, actually. I was looking up how to make a primitive teepee and was essentially looking at how you can take a tarp and string it up in the woods and make a teepee out of it. I kind of fell down that rabbit hole for a while. Well, the girl got tired of hearing about it and all my fantastic plans. Oh, she just went out and got this for me for my birthday the one year. And it's probably been my most used go-to tent that I've used in the last few years, actually, more than any others. And the best part is it's got so much space in it, too. So if you're going it alone, you got plenty of space. You can bring all your gear in. You don't got to worry about critters getting in there, bugs, or getting wet. Yeah, the biggest thing's getting wet. You can bring your boots in, whatever. But you can also have like maybe 1 to 2 comfortably sleeping in there as well. And that actually works out really well. So I highly recommend it. Look into it for yourself. Now remember, the size is going to be a little bit of a factor. Weight is negligible. It's maybe at most 5 pounds, and that comes with this. But other than that, I would say it's absolutely excellent. It's my go-to. I recommend it for you guys. And if size is a factor, well, I got another one coming up for you guys to check out, but I don't think it's nearly as good as this one. So definitely go with the Teepee in my opinion. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Go out there and get your gear. And if you want to find out about any other gear or ask about any other gear that I might have or that I take out on the trail with me personally, by all means, shout out in the comments, let me know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your buddies. Until next time.